Welcome back, another day, another read, so let's get straight to it. First things first, for the individual that I'm reading for today, there has been a tower moment that has happened, but it's not in the sense where it's like loud and bold. It's more like very like a silent one, like a slow revelation for you, where it's like you're having like these epiphanies and realizations when it came to like this fog, this idealism, or this certain reality that you thought was, stable. And this is a lot having to do with like either having to do with your family, your relationships, or even like partnerships. There's just like a lot of stuff that was happening in the dark that you're coming into like realization slowly. Like the light is starting to like strike right then and there. I'm seeing that, that there's been offers for you to take like practical, like small steps towards, moving past this. Let's see. And you're definitely moving away from like these kind of circumstances and situations because you're cutting through the illusions and the fog, and you're starting to see options that you used to like overlook at in a curious way. Like you're now getting into like this student mentality where you're open to different like realities and perspectives. So that way you can learn, and that way so you can prevent from these certain situations to ever happen again in your life. There's just a big emphasis that you're now taking like slow and steady actionable steps in your life. You're no longer rushing it. You're no longer idealizing things. You're seeing things for what they are. Yes, you're disappointed at the same time for seeing like the truth of it all. But at the same time, it's like, okay, like now I know where I can start from and work on. I'm seeing that your guard is up right now. You just been through it. Like there's just this restless energy. You're just like, I'm sick and tired. Like I don't want to keep on like, holding up my guard. You're just still like on the fence. But there is like this hope for you. You're seeing like, there is still like this other side, this new world that you can step into. Let's see. But I'm also seeing that you're still having like this pain and sorrow that's going on in your heart chakra, and to the betrayals, and even to like past pains. And this has a lot to do with like, family dynamics and relationships and connections that you were, fond of. Stuff probably hit the fan. But it's now, it's helping you a lot in your evolution of healing as an individual, and starting to recognize like what you truly value as an individual, what you actually need in relationships and your family dynamics, in regards to your boundaries, your well-being. Yeah. You're starting to take more of like, equal give and take, but in a more practical way and a slow, steady pace. You're no longer rushing it. You're no longer like just, here you go. You're like, no. We're going to take things like slow and steady. Got to build up that trust, communicate, build those boundaries, and, have like that mutual understanding to be on the same page. Because again, like in the past, you probably had like this ideology of like, well, this is how friendships and connections should work like, or this is how it's supposed to look like. But the reality of it was like completely different, or you were probably lying to yourself in a certain stance. Let's see what else Spirit Team has to say. But definitely, like, you're, like, in a healing stage. So I am seeing, like, forward momentum happening here. Yes, and you're completing a cycle here. Okay. Things are looking up. I'm seeing mutable signs. Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio placements being very significant here. There's a closing of a chapter. Again, strong emphasis. Oh, and you're getting rid of devil energy here. Alright. These cards just flow. Yeah. Okay. And it's because you're being so crispy clear of what you require and you need in your relationships and connections. And you're cutting through like the illusions and like facing things in a logical manner where you stand in your truth. You're ending these cycles because it's like it's not an alignment for you. Like you don't even feel peace and joy with it. you're just like, what the fuck was I doing this entire fucking time? And, you know, it's because, like, you know, and these connections and these family dynamics, like, there was just a lot of binding that was happening here. Could have been through finances, emotional, like, you know, emotional play here, mental play. What else? I'm not sure. Like, maybe living situations. There was just, like, this, like, power games happening here. As well as, like, this bondage where it comes to, like, control and manipulation. You're just getting rid of all of that energy out of your system. And you're finally coming into the whole completion and finally recognizing, like, okay, this is how I'm going to set the bar here. These are my standards, and you're raising your standards now. And this is requiring a lot of strength from you, but in a very gentle manner. Not in a forceful way, in a gentle manner. And it's because you're finally understanding, like, the cycle of life and the complete, like, completion that's been happening here. It's like you've been experiencing, like, these waves, like, in and out. Like, sometimes, like, you have seasons where you're not experiencing this stuff, and then it would happen, and you're just like, when is this ever going to end? And it's because every season it was teaching you a different version of yourself and a different, like, reality and perspective that will help you, like, shift your mind of how to handle, like, certain circumstances and situations with specific individuals, because not every person's going to be the same. And so are the situations. Like, every dynamic is going to be very different. So it was showing you aspects of yourself as your evolution was happening throughout, like, you know, these months, years, up to weeks. To, like, so that way you can just, like, completely end this fucking cycle. And so that way you can realize your self-worth and what truly is an alignment for you, what you actually value as an individual, and what was an actual fucking lie and, you know, deception. And, you know, the stories that you were telling yourself. You're seeing things for what they are. And you're also seeing, like, how many times that you were offered so many opportunities, and because you were swayed by, like, you know, this devil energy, you were here, like, you know, saying, no, I'm good. And now you're like, oh shit, I should have actually looked at these options. Like, these options probably would have taken me somewhere else, somewhere where I could have, like, prospered or grown as. But again, it's all in the past. Like I said, you're completing the cycle. You're letting go of this stuff. What else do you want them to know? Heavy emphasis on, like, inner child healing. Like, there's just a big emphasis here. Like, your inner child was impacted by all of this crap. Maybe your inner child, like, your inner kid within you, like, you know, was, like, told lies. Was made to believe, like, oh, we were, like, the happy, perfect family, or this is, like, how a perfect, happy relationship should look like. And then you stepped outside of that and recognized, like, that's not fucking healthy. That's not actually good. Or this actually is not making me feel happy. Or why am I feeling, like, this much pain and sorrow, like, when I should be happy? And it was because, like, you needed to, like, have that bubble bursted by the universe. The universe wanted to show you, like, hey, this is not how it's supposed to be. You were gifted this gift, so that way you can find what's actually in alignment for you. I'm seeing lions can be very significant for you as well. Also, white dresses. A white dress can be very significant as well. Yes. Because all of this is leading to, like, a lot of, like, stability. And a very prosperous, like, season for you when it comes to finances and stability, structure. We got the 9 of Pentacles here. So I'm seeing, like, a lot of fulfillment happening here. And just enjoying the fruits of your labor too. Just enjoying, like, you know, like, the steadiness, the joy that you're going, like, that you're just going to experience by ending this cycle. We got the Empress. Yo, I never get the Empress on my, like, whenever I'm doing readings, I hardly ever get her. Either she's in, like, reverse or she's not apparent. But it's because you're finally gonna step into that Empress energy. Okay. I'm excited. This is, like, very divine feminine energy. It's like healing the divine feminine energy that you know, was trapped. And its confinement that was distorted. Made to think that, you know, she was something that she was not. And as you're tapping back into like this fruitful, joyous, like abundant individual, like where she's very creative. And if you're a divine masculine, like, you know, you're healing the divine feminine within your own self and tapping into the things that you enjoy, starting to tap into your inner child and do the things that you just love to do, have fun, look at life like in a creative like way where it's like you want to expand as a person. You're not seeing it as like a very rigid or very depressing or dull. Like you're going to start seeing the world like in a very colorful and beautiful way. Oh, I'm excited. You could be seeing threes as well. It's like very significant as well. Okay. And it's because you're recognizing like your inner star power. All these fucking deceptions and lies were just to keep you oppressed and suppressed.